I feel like I did a lot less than I can remember today. I really don't know. Today's gone really, really fast. And I was just going over the stuff that I did today, and I kind of, I feel like I should have done more. Not in like a me, like where was me way or anything like that. But anyway, cool stuff out of today. I hit the gym, so I've been going at 4:30, and then Beck's been going at 5:30. So at least by the time she gets back, the kids are up and at it and stuff. So so hit the gym, nice weight session, which was good, and the kids, and then Sterls, when I got back, Sterling was starting to get stirry. Oh, funny play on words, and Beck came back just at the right time, really. And and it was really cool. Like, he just loves being around people. Hey, so I grabbed him and took him out of his sleep so he could like stretch his arms and stuff, and chucked him in bed, in our bed. And and he was just happy to chat, and he was just happy that I was there, and he just get this like massive big smile when he realizes that it's us. It's really cool. So he's a bit restless. Beck got back, and before the kids were up, we jumped straight in the ice bath. Beck, she did another minute. She's a legend. And and again, I say this, that for someone who has outspokenly said how much she values comfort, it's really admirable to see that she is taking this by the horns and jumping into it. So no doubt she'll continue to push her limits. So that was really cool. So I jumped in. So she went and jumped straight in the shower and had a nice warm shower after that. And I jumped in and I said I was going to do 5 minutes. It's been months since obviously with the exception of the last couple of days, it's been months since I've been in my ice bath. And especially in winter as well, it's a lot easier in summer. So winter, to kind of go back cold turkey is requires a bit more motivation. So jumped in and, I got about a minute and a half in, and it's just cold with that water, we didn't even have the pump on, but anyway. And I was about a minute and a half in, I was just like, nah, I'm done. So I climbed out, and I looked at my timer, and I still had like 3 minutes 30 left, and I was like, I can't do this. So I jumped back in, and the thing that's been on my mind, like, and I'm not a big not a big fan of, what do they call it? Affirmations. And one of the things I'll bring it up actually. One of the things I've been big on, like, to me, I feel like with affirmations, you're kind of like brainwashing yourself into something that you're not, which is pretty much the process, right? You're intentional about it. But one of the things is that is that I'm a master of my own body and I don't succumb to its impulses. And another one that I've got here is that I love the discomfort and sacrifice that comes with discipline. So those are a couple of the things that I'll say in the morning to kind of like set my tone and set my mindset for the day, and I revisit it throughout the course of the day, and I want to be able to keep that mindset on track. And so I said that, and then I jumped out of the ice bath, and I realized I was like, no, like I don't. One of my rules about myself is I don't succumb to the impulses of my body. So I jumped back in, and so that was really cool. I think one thing with this whole like discipline journey is that I'm certainly developing a lot of trust in myself, and that feels really cool. So anyway, so that was that. So came in, obviously kids had brekkie, got them set up and everything else, and then I recorded the 2 remaining videos for the blog that I was getting behind on, and I also realized, it came to my attention that I haven't been actually like, you have to measure and track, right? And I haven't been tracking, probably just because I've been catching up on all the stuff, but I haven't been, I've been tracking, but I haven't been like measuring and assessing, my sleep quantity, the water, all these things that I've been saying that I want to be doing. And Yeah, so that was listen. I'll be honest, that was a bit elementary on my part. But yeah, so I'm gonna starting to do that. I missed it today, but I'll kick that off again tomorrow. So yeah, so it did a bit of that. Went and did all the banking and picked up some stickers for the shop, and then it just started prepping for team meeting, the Savo. So on the back of last week, we had a team meeting where we opened the books to the whole team. We just said, like, this is where the business is at. Like, it's going to be doing really well in the next 12 months, and the truth is, I want our team to be able to benefit from the business's growth also. And so there's this whole open book methodology that we're going to start implementing, and today was our first meeting, which was really cool. So printed off the previous week's P&L, took it into the team, showed them. I was like, hey guys, here's where we're at. Here's where we did really well. We overspent here. We're on target here. Blah 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 blah. And it was this really really cool moment where everybody was on the same page, invested and keen to hear and strategize. So the big thing was that I wanted to work on was with the team going, okay, well, we've got these values that I want propaganda to be about, and no one's going to have shit values. No one's going to be like, oh yeah, yeah, we want to be shit at customer service and we want to be the slowest and the worst. Like, everyone's going to have like aspirational values, right? And it has to be something that is in their words and that they buy into. So I said to him, I was like, listen, guys, like, what values do you want to have? And I'll keep you guys accountable for these sorts of things. And I want you to keep me accountable too. But like, what are the values that you want to be operating on by as a team? And so we went through a really cool exercise and unpicked that a little bit. And what came up was we want to be operating with respect, dedication, initiative, diligence, and taking ownership. And I was like, yeah, listen, I subscribe to that. Like, all that, that's cool. If that's going to be how we conduct ourselves, like, I'm cool with that. So that was really really cool. And I guess, like, I'm going to, over the next, I don't know. I mean, who knows? I guess this is a whole big experiment at the moment. It's a beautiful part of having your own business is you can run these experiments just to see, how does this management style work, and is this really going to get us closer to where we want to be? And yeah, so the next thing we're going to be working on is like, obviously this is going to take iteration. Like, we haven't just like tick values done, right? No, it's going to take iteration, and there's a lot of unpacking of vision next as well, and and getting clear on that. So I'm going to start working through that with the team, which is going to be really cool. So I did get the opportunity today. So last week, perhaps maybe a bit longer, I was able to have a conversation with a guy over East who, just through our networks, he's had a pretty wild few years. His business closed. I don't use a crass term as, well, whatever. It fell apart, and and I'd been chasing him down for the last probably month, and finally we're able to actually like get on the phone and have a really good conversation. And the biggest thing that came up in our conversation, because I said to him, I was like, and I understand, like, even he said, he's like, I know I'm not the man. Who I am now is not who I was before, and I'm grateful for the lessons that I have and the perspective that I've learned since. And I asked him, I was like, do you think that you would have been able to gain that perspective and lessons and wisdom without having gone through this? And he was like, no. And I was like, do you think I could learn that vicariously through you? And, it kind of made him pause, and he was like, like, I'm never going to say no, but, and I have to agree. Is it possible to learn that without having to go through it yourself? Like, I don't want to go down the journey of getting divorced. I don't want to, have, no, I'm obviously not going to tell the nuances of the whole situation, but I'm not going to, all the negative shit that comes with, a business collapse. Like, I'm not interested in that. Do I think that that I can grow propaganda without compromising the relationships with people I love? Yeah, I do, and that's my goal. That's my vision. Is how do I do that? How do I make propaganda everything it could be and realize the full potential of who I could be, while not compromising the relationships with people I love and not having my kids and my wife hate me when I'm older. So yeah, very, very interesting. Anyway, so the biggest thing that he was saying was around trust. Like, people, specifically trusting people. And so there's this other person I know who's, I guess, in a similar position. I got on the phone to them, and I just said, I was like, well, do we have the opportunity to talk? And yeah, and ultimately that conversation echoed a very similar sort of, and it seems to be a pattern here around people and trust, and this is the interesting part. The pattern that I'm noticing, at least from two, and like a sample of two is not great, right? But nonetheless, from an early position, that the thing is the people that are closest to you, and that's kind of the scary part. And it's the same thing, like you hear of the sexual assault cases, especially like in the sense of like family and family friends and that sort of thing, is it's always the people closest. It's never the people. It's not say it's never. Very, very, very rarely is it is it violent. It's not people breaking into the house and then assaulting. No, it's usually the clandestine, the the grooming. It's it's the people that are closest and have the most access to you. That's where it happens. And so I'm kind of left in this position where I'm like, well, how do you trust? And how do you find the right person to be able to trust? Oh no, all good. Or is it a matter of having to, and maybe it's both. Maybe it's a matter of accepting the fact that, for the most part, people are inherently selfish and they're going to put their needs and wants over yours, and you have to be able to embrace that. And I feel like that's kind of part of what I'm doing with this, with this open book management thing, is that, showing everyone exactly, okay, this is exactly how a business is performing. Like, here's the books, like every week, let's go, let's tune this up, let's tune that up, let's have a look at this, and and get the team involved and the team engaged, not just me, not just top down decision making, centralized control, like where it's decentralized decision making and control, and then on the back of that, like, hey guys, like, I want you to take a cut of the profit. Here's how we know that the business is healthy, and here's how we know we've got surplus profit, and we're going to split this in this manner. And what that looks like, yeah, I'm not totally sure, and I've made it very clear to the team that I'm working on that. But I think that kind of embraces the fact that, people are selfish, and the thing is, I don't think that's a bad thing. Bad selfishness is bad. Good selfishness is good. But even the good things people do, they do it because it feels good for them. So yeah. So that's that. Anyway, so that was something that kind of came up in the conversation today. And I'm, as much as I'm wanting to learn from the people who have succeeded, I also want to learn from the people. Not to say these people have failed, because I don't think failure is final, but where their expectations haven't resulted in how they anticipated it would, right? And I'm wanting to go, well, what happened in your story? What would you do different? What decisions would you have made again? What advice would you have given yourself? What advice would you give me? And it's amazing how, and I said this really explicitly. I was just like, I don't want to come across like I'm a vulture on the carcass of someone else's wisdom. Like I remember when we closed the cafe, that, man, it was wild. So many people came out, hey, like, have you got this? Have you got that? Have you got this? And I'm just like, yo, all of you can just fuck off, like, please. And, you're dealing with all the other mess, and let alone, So in these instances, like the businesses are a lot bigger and it's a lot more complex. So that's where I'm going, well, I want to be a lot more. I think there's lessons to learn there, and I really do. And I just, yeah. Yeah, don't want to say too much. And so that was really cool. So after that, it was a really insightful conversation and a really heartfelt convo, I would probably say. So, so anyway, then I spent a bit of time on the phone to Water Corp. We got this massive bill. Turns out for the last 3 years, well, yeah, pretty much 3 years that we've been at this house, and I don't know, all good. We've been at this house, and they've been estimating our water bill this whole time. And then all of a sudden they came and read it, and they hit us with like a couple grand bill, and I was like, no, that's not how it works. So I'm going to go down and see him and get that sorted. So I spent a bit of time nutting that out today. Prep for the team meeting and shot down. It was really great. I just went down. I was like, hey guys, here's where we're at. How's everyone feeling after the previous meeting? And this great. Well, let's work on some values, and we set some values for the team and how we want to conduct ourselves. And and the thing is, like, I didn't do this. The team did. And and that was really cool. So yeah, it was awesome. And just even saying to him, like, all right guys, we've identified that our quality is lacking. How do you guys want to tackle this? What area and quality do you want to focus on? Oh, we want to focus on like the texture is what they said. And I was like, great. I was like, do you guys feel like you need some more education and resources around that? They're like, yeah. I was like, fantastic. Guess what I want to do tomorrow? I want to go find some great resources for us. They're like, yeah, cool. So it's really cool hearing from like boots on the ground, like the areas that they are seeing, the areas that they're lacking, and going, fantastic. Like, if my job is to provide the best resources possible, leave it with me. I've got you sorted. So really cool. Yeah, really, I'm excited for the future and just seeing what happens. And like I said before, it's a bit of a management style experiment, really. Oh, we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, that's that. We are up to speed finally.